Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani to take on another Am I the Asshole? If you're new to this YouTube channel on narcissism, please join us, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell because we put out new videos every day. So it's a bit of a reminder for you. So here's this Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for wearing a first-gen sash to my graduation against my dad's wife's wishes? Hi all, long-time lurker but first-time poster. I am graduating from law school next weekend. As a backstory, my parents are divorced and remarried. Things with my father's wife, Kelly, have always been tense. They got married when I was 16, and the long and short of it is that I ended up moving back in with my mom because they had very loud, intimate relations at night when I would be trying to study or sleep. Yikes. Bluntly, Kelly is also someone who is very hard to like. She's abrasive and quite rude at times. We have never gotten along, but I have, for the last 8 years, tried harder to be nicer to her for the sake of my father. I went to law school 3 years ago, and at the time, Kelly was not very supportive of my decision and has commented on the fact that she didn't think I would actually see it through. Well, now I'm graduating. I have a great job. I'm really proud of myself because I really feel like I got here on my own hard work. Kelly has never introduced me to anyone nor assisted with my work. In fairness, I also in no way expected her to. Kelly used to be a lawyer. She is not currently, but it's not really anything we have discussed due to not being close in the first place. Now that I'm graduating, my law school gave the first-gen law students sashes to wear. My father called me today and asked that I not wear this sash because Kelly is offended by it. Bitch. She thinks that I do not consider her family, and I am also therefore not a first-generation lawyer. What the? I got frustrated and told my dad that they're both welcome to not come if it offends her so much because I am wearing my Gen 1 sash. My dad got upset as well and essentially said that it's not a big deal to not wear the sash and my sash is invalid due to Kelly being his wife and thus my stepmother. We ended the phone call on a bad note. Am I the asshole for refusing to not wear my sash for Kelly? I have tried to be diplomatic with Kelly and I worry that this may be the wrong hill to die on. I understand that it's just one graduation and I wonder if I'm making a big deal out of nothing. On the other hand, I'm really proud of myself. No one else in my family is a lawyer and I will be the first. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Oh, hell no. No, no, no. First of all, if you ever see this video, whoever wrote this, congratulations on finishing law school. It's quite an accomplishment. And as a first-gen student, it's very impressive, so congrats. All of that said, no. You know, many assholes in this story, neither of them are you. Let's start with dear old dad, okay, who put you in a triangulated mess with his with his wife, who he couldn't not have sex with when you were in the house. I'm guessing your parents likely had shared custody. So that already is sort of a bizarre dynamic, number one. Okay. Number two, and I really have a problem with this one, when Kelly didn't think you would actually see it through. Well, thanks for the lack of faith in me. And that sort of invalidating statement is such a classical part of familial narcissistic abuse. That dismissiveness, you're not going to finish that. Drop in the comments how many of you ran into that with narcissistic family members. Oh, I don't see you finishing that. I don't see you doing that. And how much that kind of invalidation takes such a toll on us when that happens. It's absolutely horrendous. And notice Dad didn't go to bat for her on that one. And this person is saying, I'm very proud of myself. I did it on my own. But it is so offensive. I actually think there's a lot of pride in being a first-gen student. I worked for years as a professor with first-gen students, and it's a different struggle. It's a different climb up. And I think that there's a real validity to heralding that. And the school wanted to herald that. But that Kelly rolls in when she's 16. I mean, what's that? 16, that's a fully cooked person, right? Fully formed human being who's making their own decisions. She had absolutely nothing to do and clearly the only thing she offered her was some sort of sex education that this poor woman didn't want. And that she felt that she is in the role of family. Okay, you want to believe you can even believe step parents are family. I absolutely agree with that. But when you had nothing to do with this person's development and are taking offense at a sash, there is that hypersensitivity of narcissism right there. That kind of pattern we see of like, oh, this isn't about me, or I'm not being respected. Narcissistic people are obsessed with being respected, but have no problem disrespecting everyone else. And in fact, in this story, she said she's abrasive and quite rude. That's code to me for somebody who's really antagonistic. And so that idea that you can't do this on the day that is supposed to be for you because it's going to hurt my feelings on a day I'm not having an accomplishment is so textbook, it's painful. But then again, as with all the am I the assholes, and like I said, this is what always breaks my heart, is the tendency of these survivors to minimize their experience. Maybe I'm making too maybe I'm making too big a deal. Maybe this isn't the hill to die on. It's just one graduation. It's the graduation from law school. I mean, most people, that's pretty much the end of the educational road. It's a big deal. And there should be a commemoration like a graduation. So if it's this, can you imagine, I'm assuming, let's say this person who wrote this is not married. Can you imagine what Kelly's going to do on her wedding? It's not okay. And what's really problematic is that the father brought this rude, abrasive, antagonistic person into his child's life and doesn't defend his child, doesn't put his child in a primary role and support her. Parents got divorced, it's never easy on a child, but really advocated for her as his daughter and didn't have the chops to confront this Kelly, who probably is a real handful, and apparently he's getting laid, so I guess he doesn't want to upset the apple cart, but to say, hey, this is my daughter, and she's proud of this, but instead he is clearly walking on eggshells around Kelly and doesn't want to upset her, which leads me to think that Kelly might be the most antagonistic person in the system. Dad's walking on eggshells, and he's willing to throw his daughter on the bus. It's not okay, and lots of people out there have struggled with narcissistic step parents, which really is awful. You're thinking like, especially if in your original dyad of biological parents or whomever you came into the world with, whoever your original parent or parents were, if either of them were narcissistic and then the parents split up and they take on a new narcissist, you're like, oh my gosh, you'd be thinking like, now they're multiplying. And so that's not a good feeling either. So this woman is not only not the asshole, once again, you see that tendency of people who submit these. The fact that anyone's submitting something to this means that they're questioning it. And to validate anyone who's in a situation like this, when it's your day, your accomplishment, that allowances are made for you to honor that accomplishment as you see fit, and that I'm sick and tired of these antagonistic family members who are trying to say, well, no, you might hurt my feelings if you do this way. Think of how many people's weddings have been ruined like this. Oh, I don't like where I'm seated. Oh, I don't like the color. It's not your day. And so that piece of it, not only not the asshole, I feel for this woman. So you know what? One day maybe she can sue Kelly. Thanks again.